Good morning, everyone. It's Yvonne here with our next Mornings with Mayesh. Super excited to have you guys. I have a very special guest. And before I get into that, I'm just making sure I'm all good everywhere. I think I am. Yay, everything's working properly. You know me, I get really nervous at the beginning of every show because I feel like I pressed the wrong button at some point. And Remy just joined me, so yay for Sharpays. So yeah, today is going to be a really amazing day, guys. Guess what? Guess what? Guess what? We have CeCe Todd here. She's going to be chatting about her experience on HGTV's upcoming competition show, Table Wars, starring Martha Stewart and a couple other really amazing people, really amazing contestants. It's going to be so much fun. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to get the inside scoop from CeCe and find out what it's like to work with the Martha Stewart and also find out about CeCe's favorite moments, along with hopefully maybe a few Tablescape design tips. So you guys, make sure you say hello. Let us know where you are from. Make sure if you have any questions while we're chatting, put them in the comments and we will touch base on those as time permits. Sound good? All right, so let me bring on CeCe and we're going to get started. Hey, girl.
Hi!
How are you? I love your energy. It's so much fun.
Oh, great. And this is after like 80 hours of travel and being from Las Vegas. And I mean, yay!
I love it. I love it. So I know a lot of us know who you are, but just in case someone is watching and they don't know who CeCe Todd is, can you introduce yourself a little bit and tell us a little bit about your flower story?
Absolutely. So, as the fabulous Yvonne just said, I am CeCe with CeCe Designs and Events. I am out of Birmingham, Alabama. I am a wedding and special event floral designer who dabbles in the high end and luxury market. Yes, that does exist in Birmingham, Alabama. People are so shocked about that sometimes. I am best described as a one woman party in a box or a well hit golf ball in a tile bathroom. Enough said on that.
I love it.
Love pink. If you cannot tell, I am obsessed with it. It is every part of my branding. I am a floral educator for the industry and a wedding speaker and educator, even outside of the floral realm. I travel all over the world, speaking at cater stores, special event. I'm a not pro educator, or was last year, not pro educator, and Biz Bash Top 500, all the fancy things. And I'm like, wait, what, me? Shut up. And as far as my floral story goes, I used to be a R&B gospel singer. A lot of people know that about me now, but that did not quite go as well as I had planned. I went through a divorce in 2011 and kind of just halted everything in my life. I just didn't want to do. I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I dang sure didn't want to do that. And I was just didn't know what I wanted to do. So fast forward to I found the love of my life, remarried, had a beautiful baby girl and three amazing gift sons. And while I was pregnant with her, my mom said, "Hey, I'd always worked in flowers. When people need a part-time job and go wait tables or go work retail, I would go work in flowers because right after I got married in 2000, I started working for the flower shop that did my wedding. And that is where I got my hardcore education in the floral industry. Did that for 5 years, ran the shop, did all the weddings, was the buyer. But I knew I didn't want to own a flower shop. So when I was pregnant with my little girl, my mom was like, "Hey, don't do pharmaceutical sales anymore." Shockingly enough, that's what I was in. Let's start doing flowers. I was like, "People don't just do flowers, Mom. You have to have like a flower shop." And, she was like, "No, you don't." So we just started doing it, and she thought it was going to be this fun little side hustle. Little did she know, which she's my mom, she should remember that if I do it and I do it well, it's for world domination. Not to mention that God was like, "Ah, this is right where you're supposed to be." So it was like everything took off, clicked, was just like when you step into where you're supposed to be, it was like so super amazing. And fast forward 8 years later, I am I'm here. Oddly enough, since I know I was born to be on a stage and I had never really thought about TV after my singing career ended, little did I know they still thought about me. So now I'm on a TV show.
That's amazing. I love it. Such a great story. You fit a lot in a little bit of time.
I know, right?
Right? So, a TV show. I can't believe it. So, Table Wars is premiering this Sunday, the
Mhm.
14th at 8 p.m. Eastern, guys. Cece, can you tell us a little bit about the premise of this new show for those who may not know?
Absolutely. So, funny little backstory though is that this was not the original show I was asked to do. Probably a year prior to the pandemic, NBC Universal reached out to me about creating a show around me. We got in contract with them. Everybody got fired, and everything got shelved. And I was just like, well, okay, well, I guess I was made for TV. And then right after that, probably about 6 months after that, I got another just totally off the wall contact from a director that said, "Hey, we have this new show coming up. We think we want you to be a part of it. Are you interested?" I was like, "Sure, why not?" And then insert pandemic. So literally, this was 2 years in the waiting, to find out even if I was fully on the show with and a first time show at that. And we can circle back around to that. But this was the first ever show done in this vein. All of our producers for Table Awards were veterans of this genre of TV. They either came from Chopped um or oh god, why can't I think of the fashion the Runway, Project Runway, or I mean, you name it, Queer Eye. So these were all pros, but they had never, like, this was a first time show. So they were figuring it out as much as we were figuring it out. So when I originally signed on, it was, hey, you're going to design tablescapes. And I just assumed it was all other wedding and event industry people and floral people. But after the pandemic, when they decided we were going to start in March, which then got pushed to July, was really when we started getting more detail. And it wasn't really until about a week prior to leaving, that they were like, well, it's a tabletop. All they kept saying was a tabletop design competition, sketch some ideas, and see you there. That I finally asked, like, but these are all wedding people. And they were like, no, like, these are just people from every walk of life. And I was like, oh, crap. So the premise that was sold to me, it's not the premise that it was, but it still turned out, just to be a ball of biscuits. But it is, I mean, you see it in the promo video. It is tablescaping on steroids. Like, when I tell you that the tablescaping is the smallest part of what goes on Table Wars, I ain't playing with you. And so they, of course, give us challenges that we loosely knew, like, conceptualized, but that's literally like saying, we're going to throw a party, and it might need some silverware, okay? And then you get there and you're like, "Oh, okay. Well, like, we need decoration." It was just such a minuscule little tiny window into what we were going to be doing. So the element of surprise is still insane. And each week another contestant gets the axe, gets booted, and then at the end the winner wins $50,000.
Nice. I love it. So exciting. So it was meant to be, apparently, for you to be on the show. It was a long drawn out path, but yeah.
Well, I mean, I knew it was going to be good. No matter what happened, when every single producer that I spoke with, and especially I became really close with one of my producers, James, who I just absolutely adored. And both him and a couple of every time I talked to them, they were like, "She gonna be good TV. She gonna be good TV. She's a soundbite queen. She gonna be good TV." So I knew, if no matter what, if I failed at everything under the sun and got myself into something I wasn't ready to do, I knew it was gonna be good TV, and that I fulfilled my promise on. So
Nice, nice. So tell us, what was it like to work with Martha Stewart?
Oh my
I
god.
mean, how amazing was that?
I had a dime for every time everybody's asked me that.
I bet.
Like, that is so much fun. It was amazing. I mean, a lot of people were like, "I'm scared of her." I don't know why, I just wasn't scared of Martha. Now, I got a little twitchy with her once, like, I really got to see her personality and who she was. I was like, "Maybe I should have been a little bit more scared." But, I mean, she is the goddess of all things, and all you wanna do is just impress her and make her, like, lovely. Um, and so, any of the tiniest scathing words from her, like, cuts to your soul. But, I mean,
Which we saw some of that in one of the promos,
I
right?
know, I was
You're
like,
like, "Do we have to have that clip in
that's
it?"
what I said to my husband. I was like, out of all, but I mean, then my husband was like, hello, they released 2 clips. I mean, they released 2 promo videos. One's all about you. So, I mean, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. And I was like, fine. But what was funny after that is, they don't show the part right after that, of course, on the promo video to where she was like, you can make all the excuses you want. And I was like, well, if I would have had about 4 seconds more, I would have put opened roses in each one of these when I could not get my taper candles back. And they all went, oh, now see, that would have been beautiful. But that's not on the promo video.
Of course not. Of
But she
course not.
she she was amazing and she was super complimentary. Um, I do say that my most favorite memory of her and working with her is the first moment we walked onto set. I'm the very first one out, and they put the ball of energy at the beginning, and I remember we are all lined up, and we're face to face and meeting the judges for the first time, and I hear her lean over to Tamara Mowry and say, I can't remember any of their names except for that one. I know that's CeCe. And Tamara Mowry goes, I know, she's the easiest one to remember. And, Chris Hessney's just over there going, uh huh, yeah. And I mean, they're whispering, but I can still hear them because I'm so close to them. And I was like, oh my God, Martha Stewart knows who I am. And I haven't even said anything yet. So that was like so amazing. And then, and she's got such a good sense of humor. The things that came, I mean, I wasn't kidding. Yvonne, we've known each other for years. I'm a
Yes.
wellhead couple on a tile bathroom. Everything that I say is completely unfiltered. And it did not matter, clearly, that I was in the presence of design royalty with some of the things that I said. And you'll get a giggle out of this is right out of the gates. Tamara Mowry, Chris, and Martha walk up to me, and there was just nonstop chaos there. You talk about mess ups, screw ups, like people, like I said, people were trying to figure out how this was going to go in real time. The producers. So there had been a huge hiccup with where my table was. I had been placed in this wrong area, and so it was just causing a very stressful moment. But I was just, unaware of the problem, and I'm just working and head down and just doing my thing, and I'm reflexing and opening my roses. Like, I was known as the girl that just was spinning all of my roses. And they walk up, and Tamara Mowry goes, CeCe, what exactly are you doing with your roses? And I said, well, I'm getting them all nice and open and reflexed, and mainly because they were dead.
Right.
Um, but I mean, these people did not know how to process flowers, Yvonne. Like, let's
Oh,
be
I
real.
bet.
Trying to give them a flower processing class while we're in the middle of it. And she goes, reflexing. She was like, why are you doing that? Like, what is that? And I was like, well, in my world, we don't like bullets and buttholes for our roses. And Martha goes, excuse me? And I was like, oh no, I can't back up.
I love it.
So I said, we don't like bullets and buttholes. And Tamara Barry looked like she was going to just spit out anything she had in her mouth. She goes, oh my God, CeCe, that might be the funniest thing I've ever heard. She goes, what in the world does that mean? And I was like, well, most people come to me and they're like, I hate roses. But the reason they hate roses is because they're these little puckered up, like,
Yeah.
what you see in the grocery store, which have a tendency to resemble bullets or buttholes. And I just didn't catch it before it rolled out. And you'll just have to watch the show. But Tamara Mowry is hilarious. She's like, Martha, what do you think about that? Should we get CeCe to just say that again? And Martha was like, no, I think we're good.
I think we're good.
So, but I mean, she was
I'm
great.
I'm thinking I need to make that a soundbite for TikTok, so
Oh my God, it will be one. I promise you, I will become a meme off this show. I'm just telling you.
I can't wait. I can't wait. So you mentioned that they approached you, was it during or before the pandemic? And then you guys
Before.
shot during the pandemic?
Yeah, we were set to go. It was probably about 8 months prior to the pandemic that we started the casting and really getting on board. And then we were kind of ready to go, and the pandemic happened. And then
Right.
they were like, it's kind of down indefinitely. So, it wasn't towards the end of really, like I said, last July. So, I mean, it was almost 8 months to a year in between before they were like, okay, now we're going to really do it. And it was slated for March to start, and then they still really weren't ready. And then it moved into July. So this past July, I spent 7 weeks in New York filming.
Right. And how was that? Like, did you
Horrible.
guys, yeah. Like, like how'd that go? I
I
mean,
mean,
because we haven't done anything totally different, but we haven't done like workshops or shows or anything like that because like we just don't want to have to
right,
deal with all of that. We don't know what's going to happen. So how did that
right.
go for you guys?
Um, God, it was it was excruciating. I'm not even gonna like sugarcoat it. Everybody that knows me that saw my TikTok, I was just nonstop TikToking what the reality was of being there. So y'all go follow me on TikTok. It's CC Design CC. But the first 2 weeks, had to be on quarantine. And I didn't really understand what that was until I got there. Well, 14 days. And then I realized that that meant in my hotel room, unable to leave. Okay. So by myself, I was like, oh my God, I am not meant for this. So, it was so hard. And I mean, it was just literal torture until I finally called my producer and I said, listen, why did y'all hire us? And he was like, because y'all are great and your personalities. I was like, well, the personality that you're going to get on the first day of shooting, if you keep us locked up for 14 days, is not going to be the human that you thought you were going to put on a TV show. So you need to let these people out because I was coming from Alabama to where we're like, COVID, what? I mean, like,
Right.
we came off a lockdown like 4 months in, and everybody was just like, live your best life. So to go to New York where it was, I mean, my nose was like, listen, lady, if you don't stop shoving stuff up it was like, I mean, I'd been COVID tested every day in lockdown,
Oh my
14
gosh.
days stuck in my hotel room. Finally, they were like, okay, so y'all can go out of your rooms, but you can't leave the property. And I was like, the hell I can't. So I was like, see y'all. So I was like, I gotta get out. But then it got better. I mean, filming yet again was un, unprecedented. I mean, normally when you film a show, a reality show, or something like that you have off days and you can go out into the city and explore things. I mean, we were in a bubble. It was when you weren't filming, you were back in your room. There was really no socializing and hanging out of the contestants. Yeah, it was a
Wow.
very surreal and lonely process. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I can only imagine. I can only imagine. So that was probably kind of like the pit of your experience. What was one of your favorite moments from the show?
One of my favorite moments of the show, so many. One of my favorite moments of the show would probably be um one of the tables that I designed. I had to do a team. I was paired with a another contestant,
Mhm.
and as weird as this is going to sound, I have a very dominant personality.
You do?
That's not
What?
shocking, right?
No, you don't.
And my husband and my employees, everybody here, SK, they were like, "Hey, go and just be like, it's not the CC show." Um, and was um I was very proud of myself able to work with another person and really not try to run the show. I do feel like in hindsight, I probably should have ran the show a little bit more, but it was nice just like I said, learning how to be work as a kind of a collective and competing with each other. And as weird as it sounds, this is probably my other favorite part, and and it didn't necessarily help me on the show, but I am a teacher. I am an educator. I, I'm a competitor. Don't get me wrong. I want to compete. I want to be the best. I want validation just like everybody else. But something about the place I am in my life, love even more probably than that, teaching and educating. And so one of my favorite parts was every time somebody yelled at me for to get back to my area because I kept wanting to help everybody. I'd be like, no, 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 don't do that. Mm-mm. Let's fix that. And they'd be like, CeCe, get back. Like, worry about yourself. But I was just like, I can't watch these people. I mean, I'm the only floral designer on set. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I mean,
Right.
this is what a lot of people don't realize, and I kind of touched on it earlier. This is not a floral design show. So you think about the big flower fight, which it was florals and landscaping, okay?
Right.
But I mean, it was geared towards what we do. The big flower, I mean, the in full bloom,
And from
it's
bloom, yep.
all floral designers. This was not. And I mean, I was the only floral designer there with the one medium that nobody knew how to properly take care of, which is why I love Mayesh. I mean, they should have had Mayesh on as like a set consultant because I mean, everybody knew how to process wood and beautiful fabrics. But I got there and like all of my flowers are dead. They're not really put in water. The choices of what they picked were not the caliber of what I love working with. Maybe I
Right.
get it from Mayesh,
Mhm.
and that is not where they got it. But I'm the only floral designer. There was a roller coaster designer. There was a
Oh my god.
engineer. There is a set designer for movies. There is a fabricator. There's an interior designer and builder, a wedding planner. She was the only one that we were kind of like, oh, we're out of our league with this building stuff. Um, yeah, but I mean, it was not about the florals at all. And so I was like, and y'all thought it was smart. Y'all like when you name all these people up, and then y'all were like, and a floral designer. But still, when I was on set, I was like, oh, I wouldn't pair those together. Mm-mm. Well, make sure you strip those roses and get those thorns off, and don't stick it like that; it'll die. And they'd be like, hey, get back to your table. And I was like, but I just need to help her with that really bad choice of color palette. And they'd be like, find yourself. So it was good to know that I still just stayed true to my love of just wanting to help people while I was there. So those are probably some of my favorites.
I love it. Very sweet of you, CC. Very sweet. But you are an educator, true at heart,
Yeah,
obviously. That's I feel like a huge passion for you, and that comes through no matter what you're doing. So what else could they expect from you, you know?
I know, right? I mean, and plus I educate a lot during the show. I mean, they, all they had to do was say one time to the team, like, if you're working on something, and this is a good point to kind of educate the audience, feel free. And every 5 minutes, I was like, come here, let me show them. Come here. Let me tell them quit using baby's breath. Come here. And so we spent, I swear they were up on me like all the time. They never had to ask me to talk to the camera. Let's just be clear. I was just showing people how to reflex roses, how to properly take care of their flowers. I was showing them what not to have their flowers look like, what to have their flowers look like. So, you know, I was trying to make sure I was, like I said, super true to myself and teaching not only on set, but to everybody who's going to be watching at home.
I love it. I love it. So, do you think overall the show Table Wars is going to help the floral industry?
Absolutely not. No.
No, because it's everything about other than flowers, as you
Yeah,
said.
I mean, literally, it is a great show. Now, where it's going to help people, it's going to help you as just a designer. Is it going to help you as a floral designer? No. Is it going to help you conceptualize outside the box on no matter what you do? Absolutely, yes. But floral design, it's not going to really like it change much there. Like I said, it was such a and this was nothing against, you know, the team that I worked with, but nobody knew understood flowers on that set. Nobody. Like I said, you know, it was just run down to the New York market and just pick up some pretty colors. So, you know, I was dealing with roses. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. I was dealing with Pink Floyd roses that were like I felt like, God, what's the biggest centimeter you can get them in? Like a, you know, 128, whatever centimeter with
Right.
thorns this long on them, you know, in the buckets. And I'm thinking, nobody else having to prime their wood before they use it, but I got to strip all these roses, get all these thorns off. I can't work, you know, I'm like, I can't work in these environments. Um, so so it wasn't about the flowers. And to be honest, where I went in extremely naive since we, you know, had absolutely no prereq on like what to expect was I'm a stickler for the rules, you know. What we did on Table Wars was not reality. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like two-person tables that, you know, do not hold true to like the proper proportions that we're taught. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's not real life. We wouldn't put that in a real event. Like, no, I'm over here like following rules, and y'all are like, that's not no. And so it was a bit of a learning curve. So, like I said, I don't think it's going to help in the aspect of a lot of people being like, especially if they don't understand, you know, our industry and how it really works, that they can't go and kind of replicate what they're going to see on Table Wars. I mean, you know, you just think about how reality TV is, Yvonne. I mean, think about Cake Wars and Nailed It. You know, nobody really expects you to build a five-tier cake in, you know, 30 minutes with like, you know, airbrushed and, you know, perfected faces on it. If you've ever watched Nailed It, no, it's just fun to watch it fail. You know, like
Right,
it
right.
is about the just craziness of it. So it's not real life. Table Wars isn't. It's really not. Now there are some elements in it that are, but what they really wanted was the parade float version of Table Wars, you know, the four walls and a roof. You know, when I was like, I was decorating tables, but you know, people are building rooms, rooms, rooms.
I do
And I'm
feel like
like,
people that like engineering and know how to
right,
build shit do
right,
really good on these shows. Like, if you know how
literally.
to like build a house, you're good.
No, and let me tell you this. That is so funny that you said that because one of the first things that they come up to me and ask me is they were like, "CeCe, we noticed that you're not using really any like of the." They had a whole wood. They had a whole like
Like a lumber yard.
yeah, like a shop. Like
Yeah, wood
half of the
shop.
set is like a shop. That's when I knew I was screwed. I was like, I don't know any of that. You know, just jigsaws and plane saws and ziggity thing, like all these things. And I mean, I called my husband. I was like, babe, I don't even know how to cut on a drill. And he was like, well, that's a prime example because you don't cut on a drill. I was like, see? Um, but they asked me, they were like, you know, you're not using a lot of that stuff over there. They were like, you know, how is that? And I was like, well, first of all, I'm not, I mean, I was already frustrated because we had this table debacle. And I was like, I'm not using it because I've made a living teaching people that it is a waste of their money to try to learn how to do crap like that. I teach my students to go and hire a builder to do that instead of learning how to build because it's going to affect their bottom line. So therefore, I hire people to do crap like this and y'all didn't let me bring them. So no, it's not going very well because I've made a career out of not doing this crap because it costs me more money than just hiring somebody who knows how to build it and just building it in an hour than me trying to do it in 24. So no, it's not going well. He was like, thanks. We're just gonna move on. So yeah, like it's so fun to watch. It really is. Like you don't want to miss it, but it is not reality for our industry. It's really not.
Right, right. I mean, I love that. I feel like all of the shows that are featuring flowers aren't really super based in reality, but it is really cool that this is what the third show that is, kind of featuring flowers and,
Right.
kind of has that element in it,
Right.
just recently. So I think that's amazing. Just getting it more in front of more eyeballs, I
And
think
this
is
is the
good.
first and this is the first primetime show too. Like, that was
Yeah,
what was so amazing because, the big flower fight came out and it was just streaming on Netflix. And then, even with HBO and the In Full Bloom, it's still just a streaming show, which doesn't take anything away from them. But when I found out that this is prime time, a weekly airing show, just like, um, you know, God, all of our favorite shows, How I Met Your Mother, or
right,
that it's just every week on Sunday. Like, I was like, oh, that's just like, this is the first prime time show that I feel like adds, um, a little touch of what our industry looks like outside of, of course, David Tutera used to do it all the time on Bravo with like all of his shows. But I mean,
right,
and then you bring Martha Stewart in and Tamara Mowry, and all of a sudden it got real legit.
right. Yes. Yes. All right. So I think you talked a little bit about this, but what do you think are your biggest takeaways from being on the show as a floral designer?
Um, my biggest takeaways as a floral designer is be okay with breaking the rules. We spend so much time, like, for somebody who wants to do anything like this, okay, you've got to so step out of what we do on a daily basis because it's that is not what they want. Like I said, they want four walls and a roof in a table design competition. So you have to easily be able to navigate and um you know hard right, hard left, in any situation. I think the adaptability of just being an event designer and a floral designer was key to me, just being able to take kind of what they threw my way and trying to navigate a lot of the waters as far as like what they sometimes they were asking for things. Like I said, it was a brand new show. They were asking for things that somebody needed to be like, that's not a reality. And they'd be like, oh, it's not. And I'd be like, no. And they'd be like,
Mhm.
okay, so maybe we should, they were very open to that, but nobody else really
Right.
wanted to step up and say anything. And I was kind of like the person that got voted to be like, we're going to bitch all the time. And CeCe, you go tell them. I'm like, I'll go tell them. I don't care. I was like the foreman of the group. I was like, so I was going to the producer every day being like, this not gonna work. Can't do, like, you're asking, this just isn't a real thing. So just standing, reminding myself that what I bring to the table is always valid. Like, that was probably the biggest thing that I took away for my business and for um myself. And then also there were a lot of designs. I mean, I'll be wrong with you. There were a lot of designs that I saw where they won or that they raved over them. That in our industry we would be like, no, man, that would not be okay. But it just goes to show you that beauty's in the eye of the beholder. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, not
Yep.
necessarily what you think is fantastic is what somebody else is going to think fantastic. And so that was really cool, kind of having my eyes opened at, you know, that not everybody looks at things the same way. So,
Mhm.
as a takeaway, I wouldn't say I learned anything new as a floral designer, but it did reinforce a lot. Like, when you have all of your staples, a lot of your practices, your rules that you live by stripped from you, it really, really makes you appreciate them.
Right.
So
Amen to that.
that was huge.
So, all this talk about table wars and creating tables, can we bring it back down to the real world a little bit? Can you give us some tips on how to make stunning tablescape designs?
Yes, because that is, and originally when we planned the after the show, so there will be after the show with CeCe. It's a Table Wars after the show with CeCe, if you want to get real technical, and it will air every single Sunday right after the show. Um, and we'll do like a 30-minute just chit chat, kind of talking about the show, what happened, what I think, things like that. But then I'm also going to drop a new design. They're all based on the theme of what we did. Maybe I wanted to do something different. Maybe I wanted to do change something or add something. It's a timed thing. They're like, here, build a 24-foot table, and you have 4 hours, but you have to build the table and the chairs too. And I'm thinking, like, I could just design the table in 4 hours. So I felt like there was a lot lacking on the teaching of the true tablescape. So I think, oddly enough, that after the shows are really kind of, I didn't think about it to right now, my way of really doing what I thought it was going to be, which is much more like, let's talk about table design. So a lot of the tips that I think are huge and in real life. And I didn't even necessarily gain this from the show. I've always been such a stickler for this is know your proper place settings all day long and 6 ways from Sunday. I know we're floral designers, but especially when you're starting out, um, especially when you're starting out, we hand too much of the power over a lot of times, I think, to the people that we are working with. And knowledge is power. Whether I ever have to use that, know it. Know a proper place setting. Know a proper flower. I mean, a linen fold. Know which way the knife faces. Granted, Martha Stewart, probably more than likely, it might not happen, but is not going to be at your event judging you. But these are little details that just are going to elevate your designs by knowing, hey, this is kind of a wreck, but I know how to fix it. Like, let me do this real quick. So just knowing things like that, I think, will always elevate you in any type of floral design. um I think anything interactive, like we had so much fun designing things that were interactive. um and I can't talk about a lot of it, but I mean things that guests can actually get involved in. Um, there, anytime you can create a tablescape that can involve some type of guest activity, whether it is them writing on something and inserting it into the table design, whether it is actually a linen that can be written on or something like that, creating a tablescape that's not quite totally finished, and ask your guests to place some blooms where they think that it would look nice. That was definitely something that was super fun, and I would love to see happen actually more in our industry. I think that could be entertaining to watch. And then also, make sure that your tablescape really matches your event. That was one of the things that I learned from Martha. One of the table designs I did, she was like, well, this is, we had to say, is this for a dinner? Is this for a wedding? Is this for a bat mitzvah, an Easter party, whatever, and so we had an intimate dinner party, and I'm so used to like designing large scale. That was one of the things that she mentioned, is that, a lot of times you won't to focus on the lower in an intimate dinner party so people can really communicate to them, to each other. And we hear that a lot in weddings, but still it's all
Right.
about the Instagrammable moment and we go crazy. But you have to realize in true tablescaping, you have to really pay attention to what that it is designed for. And if it is an intimate dinner for 10, you don't want big obtrusive pieces. Even though they looked fabulous for the show, you don't want that there, because in reality, you would want florals and centerpieces that were much more low, compact, and probably a little bit more minimalistic, so that you can communicate well with your guests. So that's probably my biggest takeaway. And make sure your flowers are always processed perfectly, because it makes a difference.
Yes, it does. And we've talked a lot about that in past shows, guys. So if you're looking for tips on processing, that type of thing, I just did one recently with David Dawson. It was really amazing. So you can find that up on our blog. Um,
So
where
important.
can people find your after show? Where are you streaming that at?
It'll stream simultaneously on Facebook and Instagram at CeCe Designs LLC. So just depending on which platform they want to watch it on, it will be there. I will not stream on TikTok, but I will put some super fun after the show information that I'm saving just for TikTok, like some behind the scene pictures and stuff like that on TikTok. So the after the show and where I will drop the continuous like educational free videos will be on Instagram and Facebook at CeCe Designs. And then like I said, just some fun stuff on TikTok.
Yeah, that'll be fun. So I shared the Facebook and the Instagram links for everyone in our comments, and then of course I'll have everything in our show notes up on the blog probably on Monday, since it's Friday.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I have some things after the show. So probably on Monday, and then we'll have the replay of the video up on Instagram, and then also the podcast. We'll have a podcast version of this too, which
Yeah.
is does really well.
And I saw that Mary Catherine asked a question about
Yep.
Bella. Oh my God, she was. Let me tell you, she was not happy I was gone for almost 8 weeks. Let's be clear about that. But they called me every single day and would FaceTime me a lot, and was so excited when I got home. But now the rewards that she is reaping is hilarious because for so long, even before Bella understood what mommy did, she would tell people that I was famous and I was on TV because I would always do Facebook Lives, and she didn't
Right.
understand that that really wasn't being on TV. And
Right.
so I'd have to sit her down and be like, "Mommy's not on TV. Mommy just teaches online, but you're on the TV." Okay. I was like, "But yes, but you got to quit telling everybody mommy's famous." Fast forward now she's 8 and she has gone to school, dance, all these places, and everybody's been like, did I see your mom on TV? She was like, yeah, because she's really on TV now and she's really famous. And I was like,
That's so cute. I love
what is
it.
up? She's like, so I can tell people you're on TV now. I'm like, well, yeah, like now I really am. And she was like, and every day she'll come home and she was like, yeah. So my music teacher was like, I think I saw your mom on TV. And I was like, yeah, that's my mom. And she just has so much fun with it. She loves telling people. She's like, she doesn't quite get that I'm not famous yet either, but I'm just going to let her believe it. I'm like, that's fine. She's so excited to see me on TV. She's so excited to see the premiere. When the commercials come on, she's like, Mom, it's you. I'm like, I know. So
That's so sweet.
she loves it. She's so
That's so
excited.
sweet. By the way, Bella, I have a Bella too. What is Bella short for?
Isabella.
Isabella? Mine
Mhm.
is Mirabella. So, yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Yes. I wanted to be able to call her Bella, and now that she plays soccer, I call her Belle because it's just easier, and there's lots of Bellas on her team this year. So, yeah, I'm just curious.
yeah, and it's so funny because people always think that I named her for Twilight. I'm like,
Mhm.
no. My favorite movie ever of all time was Beauty and the Beast. I've always loved Beauty and the Beast. And I knew in 1994 when it came out that I would one day name my daughter Isabella. And plus, it's Italian for beautiful.
Right.
And so I was just like, oh, this is, or some form of Belle. Like I knew she was going to be
Right.
some form of Belle. I didn't necessarily want to just name her Belle, but so Isabella was named after Beauty from Beauty and the Beast. And but now sometimes goes by Bella, sometimes in dance they call her Izzy because like you said, there's all these Bellas. I'm like, of course, I've
I
been
know.
holding on this name for 20 years, and then all of a sudden everybody names their child that. But her full name is Isabella Grace Todd. So her initials are IGT, or I mean people call her Bella Boo, all the
Bella Bee.
names.
I love it. It's so cute. I'm sure you have some other exciting things going on, CC, because you're you. So what else do you have coming up?
Well, we have a lot of exciting things coming up. And I hate it when people do this, but one of them I really can't talk about because it's kind of post show related. So there's been a lot of talk about me having my own show. So I'm super excited to kind of see where that goes after Table Wars gets done airing. So please watch, please hashtag. It's my favorite hashtag right now. I've been saying HG. CeCe needs to be on HGTV. I've loved that. Somebody else used it, and I thought it was hilarious. or CeCe and HGTV. I've seen both of them used. So really just watch and, tag away. And even if you hate it, tell everybody that I was your favorite person, just so they can feel like I am worthy of having my own show after that. That is super exciting. But life still goes on. I mean, I think I was one of the only contestants there that still was running a full time hustling event business. I mean, I know I was. And so we came back and we're just right back at it. I mean,
Right.
everybody keeps saying it's the biggest year for weddings. Um, and it's going to be insane. So we're still at the largest wedding of my career in March, which will be, oh my God, it's close to $125,000 worth of flowers. I mean, which is just insane. Um,
Insane. That's
ins-
amazing.
insane. And we're
Congrats.
building like a whole city, and I'm just like, what? And then I am really good friends and have become great friends with David Tutera just through the industry and stuff like that. That man really is amazing and such a fantastic educator. And he has picked back up with the DTE, which is the David Tutera experience, which will he just got done doing in Rhode Island, and I was the featured floral educator in Rhode Island. And then in March it is going to be in Jamaica, and I have been asked back to be the floral educator in Jamaica. So y'all definitely go check out the DTE, the David Tutera experience, because you can still get a ticket, and like that's gonna be amazing. I just got back from Wedding MBA, which took on a whole new level with everybody doing. I was on a show that was super entertaining.
But
Um, God, and then it's just nonstop speaking. I mean, literally, I speak almost just as much as I do weddings. And then, we also have CC School, which I would love, if you're interested in being CC School. It's one of my passion projects right now, and it's on all the information's on my website and also on my link tree on Instagram. We usually have the cart closed and we only open it every now and then. But right now we haven't even announced it yet, so it's right here first that we're gonna just leave the cart open for a while. And CC School is one of a kind. I'll tell you that. If you're a floral designer, this is where you want to be. There's no education out there like this. With CC School, it is a monthly membership school, where I teach live. That nobody really does all their teachings live. So this is a live education platform inside of a private group, and we teach once a week. And we cover everything from, I mean, it's not just flowers, but each week we have a design week, and I teach you something about design, whether it's, building large over the top ceiling installs, or a lot of times I'll do what's called a fly on the wall design tutorial, and we'll just cut the camera on and live stream us setting up for a wedding, and they'll watch like literally how it works. And we have a guest speaker come in usually every month. That's ranged from David Tutera coming in. God, you name it. I've called all my famous friends and made them come, do something exciting in there. Christina Berrigan's been a guest educator. And then we really focus on business, a lot on business. How to run your floral business, how to make money, what your profits should look like, what your markups should look like, recipes, contracts. I mean, you name it, all the stuff that none of us had starting out in the industry. That is what we do in CC School. And like I said, it's live, and we do it once a week, every single month. It's just continuously ongoing forever. And it also has like this really great community, and they love each other. So that's really taken up a lot of my time right now, and working on the show, and all the massive weddings, and still speaking all the, like, I don't know why I don't have enough hours in the day, Yvonne. Like, I
I
really need for God to just stretch them out a little bit more.
we all could use some more time. I don't know how you do it all. So, it's amazing.
My face is starting to age a lot. That's just wear and tear.
Girl, we've been doing this for a little bit. We're all in it together, but
Ah,
yeah.
so and a flower shortage to boot. I mean, got a
I know.
pandemic, a flower shortage, like, woo! It's amazing. So it's so much fun. But I mean, I just can't tell you enough how thankful I am for Mayesh for being such amazing supporters of mine. For everything that y'all do. I mean, y'all curate Oasis. I mean, these are people that have just so been such a blessing to me. Was a blessing to me before I was on a TV show. They're still a blessing to me, even though I am on a TV show. But I like to think that I did the floral industry proud. So I hope that everybody watches it and enjoys it and tags me and shares me and hashtags all the things. So I'm here for it.
I love it. Congrats, CeCe. Guys, make sure you tune in on Sunday, the 14th at 8 p.m. Eastern for Table Wars. And we got to support our own. I mean, this is amazing. CeCe's there representing us. And I can't wait to watch. So congrats.
Thanks! I'm so excited.
Me too. Me too. Guys, that's a wrap on today's show. Thank you so much, CeCe, for joining us and everyone that watched for this hour and everyone that's going to listen and watch later for our replays and podcast. I so appreciate you guys. You know, it is November, the month of just being thankful and just, trying to kind of recognize that and be a little bit, do things with intention. So,
And my birthday.
and your birthday.
My birthday's
Yes.
next week.
So I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you so much. Make sure that you join me for our next show, which is going to be next Thursday, November 18th at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. I'm going to have Amy Balsters on, and she is our final 2022 Mayesh Design Star. So it's amazing. We're going out with a bang. So don't want to miss it. Thank you guys, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.